Testing. 1, 2, 3. Oh, look at that. It stopped automatically. Oh, it was an ad. Oh, good timing. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Forex.Today. My name is Wayne McDonald. I'm the largest, most successful real money options trader on YouTube. And I fly in a jet. And if you want to be successful like me, it only takes one trade a day. And you can fly on a jet. Cool, let's go. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, it's not necessarily indicative of future results, but please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, never risk money you cannot afford to lose. And yes, even though I'm a billionaire and I'm flying in my private jet, I wear t-shirts I buy at Target because I want to be approachable. Yeah, very cool. Hey, I got my Christmas lights on for you. Yeah, boy. Happy holidays. Peace on earth, goodwill to all men and women. So yeah, I'm a currency trader. I hope you're a currency trader because this is Forex today. But the interesting thing is we're talking about tomorrow because we did today yesterday. So we'll try to do on that. Maybe nothing really happened between now and yesterday, but we'll find out and then we'll apply tomorrow. So anyways. Welcome. Yesterday we went over the calendar. Yesterday we did some technical analysis. Obviously, was there any key takeaways that you wrote down? Was there a learning experience at all? I think there was a little bit of a bitch slap too, but maybe a wake-up call. Oh, gee. So anyways, didn't mean to be a party pooper. I want the best for you. So anyways, speaking about wanting the best for you, Traders Way is like, hey man, this Forex.Today community is awesome. We'd like you to say, hey, give a shout out on our behalf that they like the idea that I'm here every single day helping you become a more confident, more skilled, more successful trader. So they're like, hey, if you take care of them, we'll take care of them. So visit tradersway.com, open up a demo account, and give them the opportunity to earn your loyalty and respect as a trader. They want to be the execution partner to your successful Forex trading business. Think about that. Tradersway.com, ECN, fixed spread, variable spread, MT4, MT5, I think even C-Trader, tradersway.com. We will cover today Euro, Dollar, Japanese Yen, Great British Pound, Canadian Dollar, Australian Dollar, New Zealand Dollar. Anything else? Mexican Peso, South African Rand. By the way, how did that GDP come out? I didn't catch it. South African GDP was today. Anybody catch that? What else we'll cover? Probably gold and oil and Bitcoin, maybe XRP. Pretty much anything that you want. Yesterday you were just brutally honest. Well, you know, I think a mentor shouldn't be with someone that only hugs you. Oh, it's okay, baby. Right? What does that even mean? Is that even right? Is that even right? Did you put the decimal in the wrong place? Quarter over quarter. Yeah, but annualized. I get. Yeah. Okay. Nutso. That's a nutso number, huh? All right. So we'll look at some exotics. Let's start with the indices. Oh, hey, sorry. You don't want to look at me, yo. Okay, let's start with the indices. Yen week. Yeah, but it hasn't done much of anything as of late. Dollar weak, but it hasn't done much of anything. Swissy's still strong. Weird. Canada is improved. Euro is improved. Aussie is, well, it's improved, but on the long run, still quite sideways. Pound, still down, down, down. Congratulations on the inoculation, by the way. Okay. And Kiwi, yeah, maybe a slight recovery. So, yeah. Kind of feels like we're getting near the top, right? Like, this is weak, but ain't going anywhere. You know, this is strong, but ain't going anywhere. You know, there's a lot of things that it feels more and more pent up, if you will. So one of the things, you know, obviously Brexit might change things, and everyone's waiting for Brexit to change things. The negotiations over here. Boris, I believe, took his real money options private jet to Brussels to flex his muscles. And we'll see if anything happens from that. Of course, it won't. And then as far as the stimulus package affecting things like euro going up and dollar going down, it's going to be about 10 days. It's going to be about 10 days. They have a deadline coming up. They're not going to do anything about it. They're going to delay. They're going to move the line in the sand. So they're going to delay the deadline, or they're going to move the deadline. And so it's going to be not even maybe the end of next week. And as I complained about yesterday, the semantics of calling it a stimulus package, I think, is unfair. It's more of a continuation or an extension of an aid program. So, like, is giving small businesses loans, is that stimulus? That's not stimulus, is it? Especially if they already got it, like, hey, you need another loan? I mean, it's not, I mean, it's support, it's aid. But I get all mad when they start calling it that stimulus. Come on, that's not stimulus. So I'm sort of ambivalent. I think maybe the market will move when they finally make the agreement. And then I'll happily bail because I know it's nonsense. Right? So also, like, extending unemployment benefits is not stimulus. Yes, it's good that people suddenly continue to not pay their rent but buy groceries. I mean, that's cool, but that person that's not paying their rent, I think, would like an $800 check or $1,000 check, right? Well, Alton says, hey, I read at the BIS that the 10 years, not necessarily the asset for risk off. Well, gold doesn't do anything, so that doesn't make sense either. What yield does gold pay you, Alton? Nothing. It costs you money to hold it, so that doesn't make sense either. All right. So, So, I'm disappointed, but optimistically disappointed. All right. Cool. So let's move on. Let's start with the exotics. And how do you like my peso now? Huh? Okay. I guess I got to go back to here. Nice, right? We talked about that. We talked about that. We talked about that. Now we're way down here. I don't know where the flow go, meaning one of the major issues of this trade is not price but time. But yeah, anyways, you should see that and say, yeah, okay. Here we go on the ZAR. Okay, and I got that set up for you. Here we are kicking off the daily 21, kicking off the sell zone. And there's sort of I don't know. I think I'd use monthly pivots for a target, or just let it go, of course. I mean, the ultimate thing here is you don't do anything. You're short this forever. Okay. Does quadruple witching affect FX? No, it doesn't really. Yeah, RC Cola's on this. Magnificent stuff, the Czar. Loving it. Well, in particular, it's nice that we have, we used to have 3 carries, and now we only have 2 carries. But at least, like, there's the rand I set you guys up on, right? 2, 3, 4 different trades. Here's the peso I set you guys up with, 2, 3, 4 trades. And, and they're paying handsomely. The question, would I let it run? Yeah, except I expect some dollar strength in January. But in general, yeah, I would let it run. Yeah, I think I would. But I'd like you to have been up in here or in here, right? This pullback to 18 would have been a great place. And then sit on it. Well, you already know my opinion on dollar, so why the heck not? Okay. But that's your call. So like, Raymond, for example, is building a carry portfolio. So he knows exactly what he wants to do. Okay. And the downside is, he's only guaranteed to make 600% a year on interest. Right? Annualized. You're like, oh, that's it? Only 600%. You're like, yeah, but I have to make a trade every week. Okay, so anyways, fundamentally, this is going in the right direction. This is going in the right direction. Like I've mentioned before, I don't really like, oh, crapola, what did I just do? I don't really like euro. I would stay away from euro if I were me. What am I trying to do? Oh, I know what I'm trying to do. Okay. But you can see there are trades. And I ran so far away. So there are trades. But I expect euro dollar to go up, so I think euro is going to be stronger than dollar. So this will go down, but if you're selling this, but you're also selling dollar rand, most of the time the dollar rand would outperform. But there's a slightly higher yield here, right? What is it, 700% a year at 100 to 1? I think this is 7 and the other one is 6-ish, I think. Okay. Yep. Okay. Nice little trades, I'm telling you. See, most people will miss stuff like this because they don't specialize. You want to do the plumbing, the electricity, and the construction, and pouring concrete in the foundation all at the same time. All right. And of course, I don't have to tell you what results that would likely create. You already know. Okay, this is market. I want to be on the other one. What is the other one? Well, we'll just go to commodities. Isn't this funny? Still stuck on the 45. It's been so long, huh? You notice we're below the buy zones, though? So I'd be cautious here until we get a step up, of course, right? Thank you, Ross. Happy holidays to you. Peace on earth, right? Peace on earth. I said to my wife, we need more doves in our Christmas decorations. I'm like, that's important to me, this idea of peace on earth. Okay. Now what? This is daily, right? So this is that big speech I gave 2 weeks ago. I said, if you're only looking backwards, you're not a boss. I said, you want to buy it because it's fallen so far. Your only decision if you're a bull. Remember, and I said, well, I'm a bull. We're doing it right here on the bottom. I said, even though it's falling, you should recognize that it's falling, but also on top of that, acknowledgement, because you have to see reality. I didn't say be stubborn. I said be bullish, right? And what you say is, well, at the right price and at the right time, I'm willing to buy this. And of course, we identified this as a potential area. And now it's reversed for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days now. So I hope message received. Now, do I know if it's going to do this? No. Remember, I never know what it's going to do. But what I preach to you is you should know what you want to do. You don't buy gold because gold is going up. And you don't buy gold because gold is going down. Okay? You buy gold because you've analyzed the scenario and you believe, in this case, you're going to buy gold because it's going to appreciate. You have both technical and fundamental reasons why, and then you identify the proper price and time. And we were saying in here, this might be the proper price and time. Okay? I want you to be in boss mode. You're the boss. You're the decision maker. Where is it going? Why? If you can't answer that, you probably shouldn't trade. Okay? Where is it going and why? And then, of course, at what price and what time is the next step. But you have to answer the first one. Is it going up or down? I don't know. And then you should get out of the market. Okay? Okay, there's your biddy. Biddy, 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 can't you see? Yep. Going nowhere fast. Do you guys want more detail than that? I just look at this and say, no, not really interested. So I don't really care about the 4 hour or the daily or the, I mean, like, it doesn't matter, does it? I mean, we're waiting and waiting and waiting. It's not the right time or price. So just like, I don't really care. Okay. Brent. Whatever happened to that OPEC noise, huh? So what do you do here? Well, it's one of those weird things. If you're a bear, you see it this way, and as a bull, you're wanting. Hang on now. Yeah. So you're kind of like, yeah. Which one? So a bull might be thinking this kind of stuff, right? But yeah, I mean, I mean, it depends on how bullish you are. You might be playing this as your 1, 2, 3. It's not really a double bottom, but you can play it this way. Okay. And if you're a bull, that's the right price. You're like, dude, I bought this at 48.50, 48.60, right? You're like, that's a pretty decent price if you're a bull. Okay. Do you see that? So Biddy's trapped, XRP still, it's, 59, some change, maybe at 49, maybe at 29. And gold, gold, So we're kind of like what the currencies were, like, kind of. Let's look at some dollar, and you can see what this is daily, and let me draw it. I was going to use a trend line, but let me just draw it. What I'm connecting here. Hey, I lost my trend line. Oh, I guess it's picked. What I'm looking at here is connecting. Oh, great. Yellow. Great. Let's do it again. It's still yellow. How many times do I have to click black? All right. There we go. That's what I'm looking at right now. Okay. As long as we can maintain this and maybe turn it green, then I'm cool. If not, I'll probably make decisions. Okay. So now I can drop into maybe an hour. Oops, got to get rid of that. So this is what I was just drawing. And of course we're trapped in this. And I'm not sure if you guys know how to trade something like this, but generally what you do is the closer to the apex, the more you can trust the breakout. So if it breaks out in the middle of the apex, it's a fake out. So for example, you might have had this drawn differently earlier. You might have seen this and you might have seen this, right? And because it's nowhere near an apex, so I would have it drawn at the time, I would have had it drawn like this, okay? So you got yourself a nice wedge. If it breaks out in the middle, it's typically a fake out and you just adjust, okay? If it breaks out at or near the apex, you can trust it more. Am I making swallowing? Oh, the coffee? All right, I'm sorry. Brad's sensitive. Sorry, Brad. You're right, though. You're right. It's just I can't hear it, right? Our inside breakouts, everything comes down to fundamentals, guys. Are inside breakouts reliable? And even these little things that I'm telling you about, it's just pissy little nuances that I think people pay way too much attention to, things that probably at the end of the day don't even really matter that much. I mean, so look, I'm being frank, right? So I have no problems with your inside, how did you say it? Inside bar breakouts and stuff, but it's all the wrong thing to care about. Okay. So it's okay, but like if you don't, what most people screw up is they don't get whether Kiwi dollar should go up or down. And then here's the other thing. So like, I'm trying to answer your question. I'm not saying it's you doing it. Okay. I'm not picking on you. What I'm saying is this is not a good setup in general. We don't have good price action in general. And very often people are trading at the wrong time of day at the wrong price. And then it fails and they're like, well, it's that inside bar breakout. It's not reliable. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. Yes, that might be true. But generally what most people are doing is the wrong thing at the wrong time. And it didn't matter how good your inside bar breakout technique is or how reliable it is. You're doing sometimes the right thing at the wrong time of day or the wrong thing at the wrong time of day, where the proper technique would have just been, let's say as a bull, you bought here, you put your stop and you were done yesterday. And what about the bar technique? What about this? What about that? What oscillator, what wave count, all of it is sort of like, it's the minutia, which isn't unimportant, but it's not even close to being the most important. Like you could have no knowledge of inside bar trading, breakout trading, oscillators. You don't know anything about an oscillator. You don't know anything about moving averages. Like, let's say the one thing you knew, and that's it, that I forced you to only sell the dollar. So you have to buy this. And then I teach you one thing, swing trading. And swing trading says you buy it here, you put your stop there, you're done for the week. And you're done. You see what I mean? So now you drill down in, right? And you're like, well, what about the inside bar breakout? I'm like, well, it doesn't matter. We're already done, right? It's all done. So I caution newer traders where they're drilling down into, let's say advanced technique, if we want to call it that. But it's sort of irrelevant if there's no strategy or if there's weak strategy or if there's, right? Like you could get rid of all sort of technique, if you will. And all I taught you was to swing trade. You'd work 1 day a week. And you'd like, I don't even know what an inside bar is. Nor do you really need to, right? So that's why I throw that in there. Like, we could talk about it, more of a scenario of like, should you be moving your stop? So if we're up here tomorrow, yeah, you could jam your stop at break even, remove all risk, and you're done. And you get yourself to, you're either up here, by the end of the month, I guess, or you're not. Okay. So that's where I'd push you first. Okay. Most people are all tactics and no strategy. And I'd rather you be all strategy and then take 5 years to develop technique. Okay. That's what I would wish for you. You're amazing at strategy, and then you're developing your technique versus all technique. Because what'll happen is you're like, oh my God, these inside bar breakouts are so unreliable. And then you don't even realize your strategy was flawed. So what you then start doing is you stop using inside bars. I don't know if inside bar breakouts are reliable or not. But if you don't know if your strategy is set properly, then if you get inconsistent results with your inside bar breakouts, which you probably will because you don't have a proper strategy, then what you'll do is you'll stop using inside bar breakouts because you've declared through your experience they are unreliable because you have inconsistent results. But what you don't realize is it might be you. It might be the most reliable technique in the world, but not when you're trading at that price at that time, because that's not the right thing. You see what I mean? So it might be the most reliable thing in the world and you'll stop doing it. So what will you do? You'll keep looking for something reliable and you'll never, ever, 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 ever find it. You'll never get consistent results because you lack a strategy. So I'm not saying that's you, Alton, okay? I have respect for you. You're here daily now. So, right? But I want to throw that in there. It's probably the least of your concerns. It's probably the least of everyone's concerned. Yeah. So once you get awesome strategy down, then you can start analyzing your technique. Thank you, Ron. Yes, if you guys could take a moment of your time and click the like button, that'd be appreciated. It simply tells YouTube this is quality content. Hey, by the way, I've had this programmer working on our book club for weeks now, almost over a month, I think. And I'm so pissed off, pardon my French, because it's so slow and he doesn't do it. And then he comes back and we're like, best friends. I'm like, dude, why are we best friends? Where's my crap? So I'm getting frustrated. And then I got this idea today. What if the whole thing was an app, not a website? What if you had a wonderful collaborative book club that is completely app-based, right? So it's a native app on both Apple and Android. And you can go through the books and you go in there and there's, activity streams for each book and there's discussion groups for each book and there's the courses and the videos and it's just on your phone. And if you go to the website, it's like, yeah, download the app. I'm just sick of websites. Is an app better than a website, you think? Oh, man. Coffee! Give me the coffee, you wench! That's... There's nobody here. OLED's biased, yeah. It just seemed right, but anyways. Yeah, I know Moodles. No, I don't want Moodles. No, it would not work at Kindle. So I bought one of those Paperwhites. What are they, 150 bucks? I'm like, dude, what is this, a $20? It's so slow. It's so old and ancient technology. I'm surprised they charge more than 20 bucks for a Kindle. And they're like, it's 150 bucks. I'm like, why? Look at this crap. It's so stupidly slow. It's dumb. I understand the screen aspect is really cool for reading, but why can't it be 100 million times more powerful? Especially if you're not powering a backlit screen, right? Like, but it's weird. It's just weird. And you change the page and it goes click like you're watching a PowerPoint presentation. It's stupid. Yeah, Chrissy, yeah, the bill. Maybe keep books as, well, okay, like Stingray, that's cool, right? Like, I can't, because of copyright, obviously, I can't embed like the books that are, Kindle kind of version. But what I figure is, whether you're reading the book digitally or physically, I think it's cool if you're reading and you can just, on your phone, you got your book and you're sitting outside and then you're like, oh, well, Because, for example, while you're going through chapters 1, 2, and 3, imagine you saw a summary of chapters 1, 2, and 3, and it's a video, and there's other people like you and me and others. We're talking about the chapters. And then you got to read the chapter, and then there's sort of a mini quiz after you're done reading the chapter. So, like, what are the 4 quadrants of risk? Not like a deep dive, detailed, crazy examination, but just sort of a guide to remind you what information was given to you. Because a lot of people, like I used to do this at meetings all the time. We have like a 1-hour meeting. We assign work for everybody, and we do vision statements and all this kind of stuff. And then we're wrapping up. You can see everyone's looking at the clock. They're getting antsy. So I'm like, okay, great. And then everyone starts getting ready to leave. And I'm like, oh, whoa, wait. So what are we working on? John, what are you going to do between now and next week? And Michelle, what was the vision statement? And nobody knows what the hell just happened. So if I said read 3 chapters, I'm like, did you read the 3 chapters? Yeah. What were they about? I don't know. My kids do that all the time. Oh, you took an exam today in social studies? That's amazing. What was it about? I don't know. I'm like, what the hell kind of answer is that? What do you mean you don't know? Right? So, like, it's amazing if I said, so what were chapters 1, 2, and 3? Oh, well, it was good. Yeah, I liked it. Like, what kind of feedback is that, right? You see what I mean? So it'd be cool, like at the end of it, you're done chapter 1, 2, and 3, and then it asks you 10 questions, and you're like, well, actually, I don't remember what the 4 quadrants were. So then you go back, and I go, oh, there's the 4 quadrants. Okay, that's cool. Okay, I got that. I'll write that down. Maybe I'll remember it now. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if you did it from your phone, you could be sitting outside reading the book, and you pull up your app, and you can do the thing, then move on to chapters 4, 5, and 6. So anyways. Plus, I'm sick of repeating what we did 10 years ago. All right, so I'm thinking I'm just going to fire everybody. Everyone's fired, and build the whole thing on an app, so I can just do it on my phone. Anyways, that's my thought. All right. So here we are. We're stuck here. Okay. So another way you could do this, if you want to do this for yourself. Okay. And you need to wiggle it around and get it to fit as close as possible to get the angles. Because what you're trying to do is identify the apex. Okay. Look at it failing. Why? We're not in the apex yet. No, we sent them back. We sent the kids back. Yeah. All right. Cool. So do you remember the thing we were missing? We talked about this yesterday. Our conservative target was 127.36. You don't know that using ribbons only or using moving averages only. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So like if you're using a 4-hour chart and you stay short until the 4-hour 21.55 crosses up, dude, it takes like a week for that to happen. So obviously you need to refine your exits a little better. Right? So that's why we use 2 leading indicators. One is price action, and one is pivot points. Okay, breakout, pullback, breakout, pullback, breakout, pullback, breakout, pullback, breakout, pullback, breakout, pullback. Okay, better break out. But of course, pivots say it probably should. We don't know. It can do anything at once. Someone might say, oh my God, look at that, 27.50. And you're like, well, dude, I want 27.37. So it can do anything at once, but we're using these as guides. So if you don't use them, then you should get rid of them. So this says that. Okay? Actually, this says that. I should redo that. Okay. And this is OOP, so now you got to revise this, and it says ride the 4 hour 21, and you're going to hit your target early, and then you're going to bounce. So if this should head down maybe tomorrow, and then you might be done for the entire month of December, jump in your private jet with your hottie. Right? I'll see you in Nevis. Dang it! Coffee! Gee whiz, I need some coffee. La 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 la. Yowzer. All right, let's move over here. We're losing our up. That's really disappointing. I find these types of moves very disappointing, where you get, oh, God dang it. Why do I even have yellow? There we go. When you get this set up, it gives me a lot of conviction. In those situations, I'm very certain it's going to go up. That's why I hate it. Because I'm like, wah, wah, wah. Hey, maybe I even have that. Oh. I don't even know. It's not even running. So, anyways. Yup. Bummer, dude. Bummer. Bummer. It's not your fault. I know. 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 How do you like them apples? So, yeah, just waiting it out. This tells me, I mean, depends when you consider the front run. If you consider this the front run, which, is quite valid. If you believe that's the front run, then, yeah, 84.5 is kind of our target here, 84.40. Or 82. But, I guess we're just stalled out here, which makes sense. But I hate that going into, because I know some of these played out as R1s, and R1s are bad. I don't like R1s because it predicts S1 inside, right? Yeah, Ron, I probably need to do that, but we'll wait for it. So I think we're just waiting, or you've already exited and therefore you're just sort of day trading. But I hope you see that there isn't even that good of day trades, right? So let's take this one. Let's just day trade this. I'm a bull, so I can only look at where is it? Position up here. Day trading bullish. That's not a good entry. So I might have been able to take this early in the day. So here's your Asia fade trade. And then I'm done, right? Nothing's happened all day. You would have woken up and you're like, well, at least I'm not losing money. I mean, it's not great. You see what I mean? So as a day trader, you're just like, well, nothing's really been happening. And I don't know if you would have been happy buying this dip based on yesterday's price action. It's just like, really? And then, so now you got to go to your template swing trading bullish bias. And you're like, so what did you do this week? Well, you bought it on Monday. That's it? That's all you've done all week? Yeah. And you know bears are on this, and you're not feeling good about it. I know, right? And so what is it that you're doing? Are you throwing down 15 or 20 trades in here? See, this is the thing, like we were talking about, you might have no strategy. And if that's the case, you'll never, where's my drawing tool? You'll never find consistent technique without strategy, right? So just as many people are buying as people are selling. So what do you think is going to happen to most people? They're going to lose money. Even if you're a bull or a bear, you're likely to lose money. So who will make money on this? People who trade properly. So let me identify this for you. First of all, let's clear all this out. Let's do this properly, okay? I'll show you there's two types of people that are going to make money and everyone else will not, okay? The first one is bulls. And we knew last week that that was the best bullish price bulls could possibly hope for. Okay, let me change my indicator now to tell me a bearish setup. So now I go to bearish setup. Okay. And this is the best price a bear could hope for. And now I'll open up my indicators and I'll remove the indicator. Okay, cool. You see that? You see how mathematical and factual that is? We knew last week, by the way, not this week. Last week, we knew that bears will sell here. We know that. That's the best price. That's what they were hoping for. Oh yeah, there was an update, wasn't there? There was an update to MT4, so everything's messed up. Okay, cool. The other thing we knew last week is bulls will buy here. Okay, once again, very factual, very mathematical, very logical. We knew it last week. Okay, now this is where I get all weird, like, well, what about the inside bar breakout? You're like, screw that. Like, that's completely irrelevant, right? Especially if you're doing that in here. You're like, well, it doesn't matter what you do. You'll probably lose money. You see what I mean? Like anything you do, any technique you use in here, any tool, any indicator is likely to lose money. At best, it's 50-50. But at worst, it's, okay, you sell now and then it goes up and then you lose money. So then you buy and then it comes back down, right? And you're like, oh, but my moving averages. Oh, come on, bro. Come on. Okay? So right now, if you're trading properly, what's happened is bulls have moved their stops to break even. Bears have moved their stops to break even. Nobody's going to lose money. One of these will likely make money and the other one will not lose. Do you understand that? Nobody here is going to lose money except for people trading in here because they don't know what's going on, and they feel compelled because the sun came up over the horizon that you should throw down a trade. Not because it's a good price, not because it's a good time, not because it fits your bias, not because it's backed by macroeconomics, but because the sun rose above the horizon. And you're like, well, I guess I got to get on something new today. But you're like, dude, that's not the point. Right? You see that? Right? You see that? What is it you want to do? It's not trade. Okay? You want to profit. Well, what's your thesis? Do you think Aussie yen's going to go up? Yes. Okay, good. Why would it go up now? I don't know. Because you've been waiting for this pattern? Okay? So once again, bears cannot lose money, bulls cannot lose money. Dang it, I reached for my coffee again. Was that helpful to anybody? I'm trying to see if I'm breaking through. Was that helpful to anybody? Like a big reminder of what you're supposed to be doing? Sometimes we forget, right? We get into our daily habits, but this isn't a daily habit thing. Yeah. Remember, the only person or the only people that get paid to trade is your broker. Brokers get paid when you trade. Now, they execute your trades, and they have to pay for liquidity partners, and they have to pay for hosting of all this on servers and the security, and they have to pay for licensing fees and all that kind of stuff, right? And they have to pay salaries. I mean, they do their job. They offer a valuable service, but if you don't trade, they don't get paid. So you get paid because you profit. So you should be picky and choosy, right? Picky and choosy is a technical word I learned at Harvard. You should be picky and choosy about when you pull the trigger. And you should be shocked if you don't make money. You're like, son of a holy crap. I can't believe I didn't make money there. And by the way, you shouldn't make that determination in 19 minutes. You're like, I can't believe it. I'm losing money. Like, what do you mean you're losing money in the first 19 minutes, right? You shouldn't be in panic mode until tomorrow or something. But some very basic standard stuff. If you don't know how to do this, by the way, fxbootcamp.com, put your credit card in there and get fixed. Because if you don't know this kind of stuff, forget it. You're not going to find consistent results, in my humble opinion. I know it sounds maybe selling or something, but I'm like, dude, if you don't know how to do this, you got problems. I don't think it's going to work. That's where bulls will buy. That's where bears will sell. And whatever you're doing is probably not leading you to the results that you're expecting. So we got to fix that first, okay? But there's no alpha in here. Okay? So anyway, so that's how I look at that. If you're doing it right, you're already at the point where you cannot lose money. And you have maybe, I don't think it's 50-50 either. I think it's 70-30 that a bull will win on this. Why do I think that? Well, I'm a bull. If I didn't think that, why the heck would I be a bull? Okay? That's not what I'm interested in doing. On says, why not kicking off the central? Because are bulls interested in the central pivot point, or are bears interested in the central pivot point? To which group is it most important? Yeah, it's equally important. Is, M2 most important for bulls or most important for bears? Yeah. So you can see there's differences. So like, if it's doing this, should I buy it at the central pivot? No. Because remember, I'm a macro trend trader. There's a long-term trend, but on the short run, there's nothing going on here. So yes, I can buy it low, but I can't buy it in the middle, and the central pivot point is in the middle. Okay? I know other gurus teach something else, but the other gurus, in my humble opinion, have read somebody else's book and then took that nonsense and now are teaching you. I'm self-taught, so I only know what the market has taught me. And that's why I come up with M2s and M3s, and other people are like, wait, my other guy didn't even use midpoint pivots. What are those? Well, I can tell you that the S1 and R1 are only important in certain situations, and it's not most of the time. Right? So anyways, cool. So there you go. Message received, I hope. Let's, so that's the Aussie. Here, let's go with the Euro. Okay, tickling off the midpoint. The mean. Kevin, it should work in MT5. Okay. It may not work if you're ECN, but okay. As far as I know, it works in MT5. I guess I have a test MT5 account somewhere, don't I? I don't even know. I don't know. That might have been on a different machine. I don't even know what it's called. I don't even know the name of the broker. Anyways, yeah, I'm pretty sure I had it on MT5 at some point, and it worked just fine. Oops. Yeah, it must have been a different machine. I don't have it here. Yeah, Alton says, yeah, they get the information. That's what I'm saying. What they do is they read someone else's book, and now they're an expert. Right? So, again, when I started, there were no books on Forex. YouTube hadn't been invented yet. Amazon.com was a little startup bookstore. It was an online bookstore, and they didn't have anything on Forex, right? There was nothing. So I can tell you I'm self-taught because nobody was teaching Forex. So, okay. Anyways, who cares? Let's get off me. Yeah. Okay. Someone said they had trouble moving their stop loss. It was slow. Did you see how that was less than 1 second? It was like less than a quarter second. I trade the indices the same way. I remember like 15 years ago, no, maybe 12 years ago. 12 years ago, I could use the euro yen to predict when the S&P 500 flipped from bullish to bearish and bearish to bullish and profit targets and stuff. But it was within like 1 or 2 minutes. Let me say that again. I would watch euro yen on my chart, and the euro yen would hit a euro yen pivot point, flip, and go from bearish to bullish, and within 2 minutes, the stock market would rally. So I've traded many stock indices, S&P 500 and Dow, the DAX, the FTSE, and the Nikkei. Okay. Oh, look, Chrissy, if you see, it's not bias pivots. You're talking about opening a template. So if you open, here's what's going on. And you're saying bias pivots, right? So you open bias pivots. So here's a bias pivot. And you're like, this says nat gas. It's your watermark that's the issue. Because a template is just a series of indicators. Okay? So your watermark is either missing or is not working or whatever. You should then re-download individually the watermark. So you should log back into metatraders.com, find the watermark file, download it, and install it. That's what's happening. Okay? Because the nat gas watermark is in your template, but you don't have the indicator, so it can't update. But it's not the bias pivots. The bias pivots only do the pivots. There's no price line on my chart. Why would you need a price line? But what you might be looking at is, let's go here, currency indices. So if you go to properties, I've made everything white. So that there is a, technically speaking, there is a price line, but I made it white. Okay? Otherwise, it would look like this. Okay? And that's here, by the way. So the price is up top, but all of that's irrelevant. I'm not using it for that. So I have to go to I have to set it up. Where is it? I have to look at it. I haven't done that in a while. I guess it's this one, right? Yeah. Let me double check. See, that's Swissy. So now I got an indicator, symbol X, input, euro. Now it's euro. Uh, 32. Let's try it again. See? You mean no green line? Oh. Well, the first thing you have to do is open your indicator. Do you have symbol X? If not, install your symbol X. The next thing is, are you using an ECN account? Most likely, you have not euro dollar, but not pound Aussie, but I pound Aussie. It won't work. If you don't have proper symbols, it won't work. There. Yeah. Cool. What should we do? I guess we can look at dollar index specifically. There's that beautiful peso. There's that Nokia, although this turnaround isn't great. But if you think oil's going to be going up, this turnaround might work out for tomorrow. What you might want to hope for is this. Now, bears would disagree with you, but that's why they're bulls would disagree with you, okay? But remember, I'm always going to vote that down. Okay? So if you're trying to get into the downside, that might be an interesting op as long as everything else is going down. Well, Rand is going down, Nokia's going down, Peso's going down, and Kitty Cat is just starting the process. So Kitty Cat traders, you should be thinking about this, maybe breakout, pullback, sell. Is that what you're thinking? Okay, easy peasy lemon squeezy. And if that's happening, then this needs to go up. What price would you expect it to go up? 70, right? 0.7022.5. Oh, it flipped at 0.70225. Cool. So you'd be thinking there, but obviously that's not going to happen. So you're going to take tomorrow's target and throw that down. So you might get this to 71. I try to stay in it longer than a day trade. If you're going to take all this risk, meaning this is a bear, this is a bear, this is a bear, and now you bought it, well, if you're going to take all that risk, you might as well go for the swing long, not the day trade long. It just makes more sense. So I'd be pissed off if I didn't hit this. Okay? In fact, I'd want this to go further. All right, so there's that. Euro dollars, that's still in play. Okay? We're hoping that this is rolling up. Okay? Right? Remember, we're kicking off the 4-hour 21, right? That's still your plan? So I always get like antsy that you're making all these decisions in here and you don't even look at this 4-hour 21. And you forget that we're just trying to do this. Okay? So there's, right? right now, we need to keep it above that line. Okay? Okay? And if it does this, forget it. Not interested, out. Goodbye, 2020. Goodbye. I'll see you in St. Lucia. All right. Yeah. This beast is just beastly. So really, what it seems like to me, if I were me, I would have this as my line. Okay? And Aussies, I think, did we do this or was it Kiwis? So you might, if you're a bull, you might be trying to play this as an inverse head and shoulders. It's not really, because it's at the top of a trend, not the bottom of a trend. But the other way of looking at it is you're at the bottom looking for a turn. Maybe you throw down an oscillator. Yeah, boy, let's do an oscillator. Let's do our Stokes. Okay? Stokes says nothing. That's what Stokes says. Isn't that interesting? Should you buy it? Not according to stochastics. Should you sell it? Not according to stochastics. It's indifferent. So I don't know what's going on here. Okay? I don't know. It could go lower before it goes higher. Not really interested in that game. So right now, probably a lot of people are throwing down trades because it's New York Open. They're like, it's time of day. Okay, time of day is important, but also strategy would be helpful too, right? Yeah. Well, gold is a hard one to say. You should say that one in terms of dollars, right? Has gold gone up or down $100 or $2? But yeah. The other problem with gold is the carrying. The carrying charges are very expensive. So I prefer day trading. So like the way I taught you how to day trade gold. Was that the one that you're doing? That's what you're practicing? Or are you holding it, meaning holding a long period of time? But the way I taught you guys, what was it, a month ago, 2 months ago? Time of day, throw it down, and in the first couple of hours, you'll catch 70% of the entire average daily range. Yeah, good job, Gary. Giddy! So yeah, there you go. Blah, 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 blah. It's all the same. So I'm hoping euro stays strong. I mean, I know I want dollar to be weak, but I benefit greatly if euro is strong. And euro is not as strong as Noki. Euro has played out on the euro yen. So that's not very great. ZAR is stronger than Euro. Euro stronger than Kiwi. Swissy is stronger than Euro. So, Euro isn't that strong. Euro and Aussie, it's a little stronger than Aussie, but I don't think Aussie's strong. So, it's, right? We got a redundancy here. I'll have to change that to something. But I guess we'll throw euro pound, right? Let's make this a euro pound. And yeah, euro stronger than pound, obviously. So it's just like, so it's mediocre. So going back to the indices here, it was strong, right? And now it's not. And you can see on a 1 hour, it's mediocre. So it's mediocre for today, but generally up. Okay. Gary says, Wayne, the COVID classes and the swing trading group has meant the world to me. Awesome, Gary. I mean, boy, that was scary back then, huh? So I'm glad we had the opportunity to work every single day, day after day after day after day. I feel like for some of you guys, I kind of tweaked the way you swing, but we focused on day trading back then. So I think I connected some dots on the day trading side of things too. Like, how do you swing trade every day? So I'm glad. Are you doing IMAP as well? Right on, Roger. If I can't tell you, Chrissy, it's a secret. Shh. It's part of the professional track. So we have the swing trading group, and then we have the professional track. Illuminati, yeah. Yeah, that's the group where we give you a test. We say, install this this EA onto your MT4 so that we can track your trading. It will report to us your trading. Then we say, okay, go to this period, and you're supposed to make 10,000 pips without losing money. 10,000 pips without losing money. And if you can't do it, you're rejected. You cannot come into the group. There's more to the test than that, but that's just one of the tests. It's like a 7-day challenge. So on like day 4, you're like, okay, go to this chart, open this time. Okay, you have this amount of time at this amount of risk with this kind of stop and all this kind of stuff, and you will make 10,000 pips or more. And if you can't, you're rejected, and you'll have to pay the $200 again. Blue Boy, well, the way you word it is like, if the apex of my knowledge now would be today, right? But more like proficient, let's say. I mean, it's a good question, so I'm thinking so I can give you a real answer. So bear in mind that being self-taught, it took me a lot longer than it'll take you. But I would venture to say, I mean, it's a combination. I don't know if there is an apex, because it's more like stairs. So I was going to say 10 years because that was at a point where I had some pretty good fundamentals. But then I think, well, first of all, 10 years wasn't that long ago. And then I was thinking about the stuff I was doing before. Like I was already trading hurricane data off the NOAA website. I'm like, okay, that's pretty advanced. I was doing fundamentals. I was trading stock indices. So it was before that. So that means proficient. Because Yeah, for me, maybe more like 5 years. But I'm probably, like, I'm a better trader now than I was at 5 years. But I knew probably 90% of what I know now. So I remember in the 2007, 2008 crisis, I remember going for walks through my neighborhood every morning, and I was listening to Marketplace on National Public Radio, and I also paid money to have, I think it was the Wall Street Journal read to me. So every morning they would read the front page of the Wall Street Journal to me, and I'd get like a custom audio file emailed to me. So I put these on my phone. And you got to remember, back in 2007, our phones weren't even that great, right? And I had Nike Plus shoes, so with the little thing stuck in the heel, so it would track, because it was before Google Fit, all that. And I would listen to stories about mortgage-backed securities, for example, and learning about the different tranches. And that was all pretty new to me back then. So I'm like, but is that relevant? Probably not that much. So, yeah, so I would say, no, I know what you're saying, but I'm trying to give you a good, honest answer, right, Blue Boy? So I think if you study right and you study well, I think you could be quite proficient in about 5 years. One of the major problems is people don't study well. So at the end of 5 years, you could still be extremely mediocre. And I'm an unusual person, so I'm not saying I'm better, but I'm unusual. So, like the example I give all the time, you can play golf once a week for 5 years and still be an extremely mediocre golfer. You see what I mean? So, but I think you can be a very, very proficient golfer in 5 years. 95% of people are still mediocre at 5 years. If I studied the game of golf, I think I could be a really kick-ass player within 5 years. Maybe going for scratch kind of thing. So there's a difference. And to me, it's the study part of not playing golf. Playing golf won't make you better. I think a lot of people trade, but they don't study the art of trading. And that's the big difference. When I say things like, you should trade the 1, 2, 3 pattern 100 times in a row. And if you do, you will become patient, you will become disciplined, because waiting and only doing that takes patience and discipline. And then at the end of it, you will also be confident, because you'll get better and better and better at recognizing the situations that they happen, and then you get better and better and better at the technique, at when to buy and where to drop the stop. And then at the end of the whole thing, 72% of the time you'll make money. So you'll be unbelievably confident because of your capabilities, not because you're good enough and smart enough and gosh darn it, people like you. No, because 72% of the time, boom, you make money on that. And you're like, that's right, that's it. But I know nobody will do it. But you'd be surprised how ridiculous I am. I would do that. So at the end of a year, or even 6 months, probably only takes you 6 months to do that, maybe even 4 months. But the thing is, at the end of it, I will own that. I will master it. I'm in extreme boss mode on 1, 2, 3 patterns, and I know I'm going to make money almost every time. Because I've mastered the one thing. Then I go find another thing. You see what I mean? But that's how I do my thing. Okay, that's how I do. That's how the Wayne do. Okay, so I would do the one thing. So I remember I remember being told you cannot trade on a 1 minute chart. It's all noise. And I'm like, really? I don't know if that's true. Like, really? Is that true? I mean, I don't like being told you can't do that. I'm like, what do you mean you can't do that, right? So I did that for a year. I traded the 1 minute chart, right? Boom. Guess what? You can trade on the 1 minute chart. You can, totally. Most people can't, but I know you can. So that person who said you can't trade on a 1 minute chart, I would correct them now and say, no. I can, you can't, right? So there's a difference. So, but it took me a year to master that. Now, when it comes to like the other day, I'm like, look, boom, and we did a scalp. Now it takes an hour. That's the thing. Like scalping's so slow now that it takes an hour or two. So, but I showed you that you can set it all up and you can take it. Now I'm confident in the 1 minute chart. Only because I mastered it as a one thing. For one thing, right? I mastered that. So I feel confident in my capability. And that's a big difference, right? Because we know it will be very, very difficult for you to become a professional trader when you're not confident. So how do you master the confidence? Well, the key word there is master. Well, what is it that you know? What is it that you're better at than at least 95% of market participants? Well, then how would you become confident if you are not more practiced and more developed and more refined than somebody else? Right? Well, to me, it's work ethic, sure, right? But it's also focus. It's intent. We talked about this the other day. You have to have intent. Before you even get to your chart, you need to know what you want to do and why you want to do it. So now you have intent. You will fire for effect and you know you will succeed. Versus trying to figure it out as you go. That it ain't going to work. Someone else is going to be more prepared. Right? So yeah, it's practice with focus and intent. And the practice is the most part. Like I told you, I have a t-shirt back when I was a coach for Science Olympiad. And like I said, both my children, at different times, different years, and in different, categories, different challenges, whatever, are state champions, Georgia state champions. They beat thousands and thousands and thousands of kids, right? Number one. But I had this shirt that said, practice like a champion. Now, it says act like a champion, but then practice kind of faded. So it says act like a champion, practice like a champion, practice like a champion. And I taught my children at a very young age, you win the tournament by practicing. The way and the seriousness and the focus that you put into practicing is how you win. You simply show up to the tournament to inspire all the other teams and to pick up your trophy. So I'm trying to say the same thing to you guys. It's not sitting down trading every day that will make you better. Okay, the way you practice and the focus that you put into practice, right? Day after day after day after day, will give you the strength and the confidence that you need, the patience, the discipline, the confidence, right? And where do you get the confidence? Consistency. How do you become consistent? You have control. Well, can you have control if you don't know what you want to do? No. So control, confidence, consistency. Okay? And then you show up to the charts simply to pick up your pips. Because you will be more patient, more disciplined, have more control, have more consistency and more confidence in your trade plan and your ability to execute your trade plan than the other person on the other side of your trade. And you'd be shocked if you couldn't beat that other person. You're like, really? What the heck happened here? How could you not be better than the other side when 95% of the other side is mediocre at best? Think of it. If 95% of market participants are mediocre, how could you not beat them? You're not trying to beat the top 1%. You're trying to beat the 95%. You know you can do that. Do you understand? You know you can do that. I know you can do that. But you got to earn it first. It's not your indicators, son. Right? Like I said, it's not your inside bar breakout. It's none of that. You need to offer your clientele value. That value is the research and your investment thesis based on the research. And on top of that, your ability to execute the trades. You have to have the strategy first. The bias creates strategy. Strategy then sets up tactics, because tactics are only buying and selling at support or resistance. How hard could that be? You might be making this 10 times more difficult than it really is. Are you a bull or a bear? I don't know. Then forget it. Quit. If you say, well, I'm a bull, okay, good. Are we in a bullish trend? Yes or no? Okay, well, then we can work on your process of making that determination. And then if the answer is yes, I say, okay, great. Are we at support or resistance? And if you don't know how to answer that question, then we can work on that, refining your technical analysis. And then at some point you'll say, okay, is this the right time to buy? You're at support in an uptrend and you're a bull. Is this the right time? You know the price. Price is easy. Okay. Now, if it's the right price, what about the right time? Well, that's further technical analysis. That's a stochastic crossover. That's a 5-8 crossover. That's some other kind of thing, right? But that's the easiest part, because you already know what you want to do and why you want to do it. Basic technical analysis tells you the obvious prices. And then the last part is the timing. But not only is that some sort of technical indicator, once you get good, you realize there's epically important times of the day. And then vast swaths of mediocrity. So then we can refine that. So now, when you trade with that sort of research and strategy and tactics, and you're getting down to specific prices at specific times of the day, guess what's going to happen to your consistency and your results? Well, at the professional track, the FX Bootcamp portfolio manager track, they do practice on simulators. Over and 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 over again. Yeah. Okay. So, we got that. So, thank you, Traders Wave, for being part of our community. Thank you to you for being part of our community. Thank you for your professionalism. Thank you for listening to my bantering as well as my analysis. But it's important, I think, to have a combination to help you think right as well as to act right as far as a trader. So if you could please like the video, but also leave a comment on the recording of the video. I prefer that you document a key takeaway, because you're communicating with yourself here. But if you don't have the time or the inclination, or you just didn't learn anything today, at least say thanks or hello, just even hi. Just say hi. Just say exclamation point. Let's just leave something, because what it tells YouTube is that this was quality content. It's you doing an interaction versus just sitting here staring and watching like a lurker. Okay? So thank you very much for everything you do and your feedback. Right, Morena? I do. I hope you appreciate that I do try to take everyone's feedback. I try to answer everybody's questions. I try to push everybody in the right direction. Sometimes it's a hug. Sometimes it's a bitch slap. But, we all need it sometimes, right? Maybe it's a slap on the butt, but I don't think I'm allowed to do that anymore. But I care about you. I want you to succeed. It's why I'm here every single day for 15 to 20 years. So I will see you tomorrow. Thank you, Morena. So peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. I guess I should go back to this. I love the peace on earth, right? Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May our profits be above average. See you tomorrow, everybody.